Welcome to Global World Watch. Please subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. In the global energy game, where power and politics intertwine, every move can reshape the world's balance. Oil has always been at the heart of this high-stakes contest, fueling economies and forging alliances that span continents. A stunning move has just been made, one that's sending shockwaves through financial markets and boardrooms alike. Investors and policymakers are scrambling to understand the implications of this bold new strategy. For decades, oil moved by sea, supertankers carrying crude from the Middle East to Asia, navigating vast oceans and busy shipping lanes. These maritime routes have long been the arteries of global energy, connecting producers and consumers across thousands of miles. But today, a new chapter is unfolding. China has begun transporting Iranian oil by rail, not sea, using a newly completed network stretching across the heart of Central Asia. This overland route is a modern echo of the ancient Silk Road, now repurposed for the age of energy. This bold move bypasses critical maritime chokepoints like the Strait of Hormuz and Malacca, which have long been potential flashpoints for conflict and blockades. By shifting to rail, China dramatically reduces its vulnerability to naval disruptions and geopolitical tensions at sea. Technology and security. It also demanded extraordinary engineering to cross deserts, mountains, and political boundaries. And it took complex diplomacy, forging a new economic corridor outside Western control. Negotiations spanned years, involving multiple governments and overcoming deep-seated mistrust. For Iran, this railway is an economic lifeline, offering a vital export route and a chance to bypass sanctions that have crippled its economy. China, it's a secure energy source from a partner outside U.S. influence, strengthening its energy security and geopolitical leverage. This oil trade is more than a logistical feat. It's a symbol of a shifting world order, where new alliances and routes are redrawing the map of global power. The era of oil by sea is no longer the only game in town. The new Silk Road, forged in oil and steel, is changing the rules, and the future of energy may now run on rails. To truly grasp the impact of this new rail line, we need to look back at the obstacles that shaped the region's trade for decades. For countries like Iran, geography and geopolitics have always been tightly intertwined, with every route and border shaping their economic fate. Consider the old system's limits, especially for Iran, whose vast oil reserves have long been both a blessing and a curse. The country's ability to export its most valuable resource has been hampered not just by distance, but by international politics. US and European sanctions have repeatedly cut Iran off from global finance, making oil sales nearly impossible. Banks refused to process payments, insurance for tankers dried up, and buyers vanished, leaving terminals idle and the economy strained. Most Iranian oil had to pass through the narrow, heavily monitored Strait of Hormuz, a maritime choke point under constant U.S. Navy surveillance. This single stretch of water became a pressure point for the entire region. Any crisis, whether political tension or military standoff, could choke off Iran's exports instantly, threatening not just Iran's economy, but global energy markets. China, too, faced its own vulnerability. The majority of its imported oil had to pass through the Strait of Malacca, a narrow passageway that could be blocked or disrupted, a strategic risk known as the Malacca Dilemma. Both nations were exposed, Iran to economic isolation and stagnation, China to the threat of energy insecurity and supply disruptions. Their futures were, in many ways, held hostage by the sea lanes. The dominance of the sea route amplified U.S. power, allowing Washington to block transactions, intercept shipments, and exert influence far beyond its shores. Control of the oceans meant control of global trade. The new rail line was designed to break this stranglehold. By connecting Iran directly to Central Asia and beyond, it offers an alternative path, one that bypasses the bottlenecks and surveillance of the sea. It's a direct challenge to the long-held assumption that sea power alone rules global trade. The iron tracks stretching across the desert represent a new era of overland connectivity. The oil train is more than just a new route. It's a symbol of shifting power and a new reality for the region.
where land and rail may soon rival the dominance of the sea.
The Iran-China Oil Railway is a modern Silk Road, an intricate network, not a single line. Starting in northern Iran, oil-laden trains cross Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Kyrgyzstan before reaching China's Xinjiang province. Years of Chinese investment and diplomacy made this possible, modernizing old Soviet tracks and forging key alliances. Each border crossing reflects careful negotiation, creating a corridor insulated from Western sanctions. The oil is offloaded in Xinjiang, then piped deep into China's interior, boosting energy security and regional development. This network forms a closed loop, energy supply controlled by Beijing and Tehran. It's a sanctions-proof artery, built for resilience. The Iron Silk Road is now a reality. The oil train is strategic, but it's not a replacement for sea transport. Rail is less efficient and more expensive. A supertanker carries as much oil as thousands of rail cars. The logistics are daunting. Heavy traffic, constant maintenance, and complex coordination across 4 countries. Environmental risks are real. A derailment could be disastrous. Still, the railway's value isn't in volume, it's in security. Even a few 100,000 barrels per day is a lifeline for Iran and a strategic reserve for China. Its insurance, higher cost, but protection against blockades. For Iran, any revenue is better than none. For China, it's a hedge against the Malacca dilemma. The oil train is about leverage, not just logistics. The railway neutralizes the power of Western sanctions. Transactions bypass the US dollar using yuan, rial, or barter, no Western banks or insurers involved. The entire journey is overland, through countries aligned with China, making it invisible to US pressure. For Iran, this is economic revival, steady revenue, budget stability, and new leverage in negotiations. Tehran no longer needs to make concessions just to sell oil. For China, it's a stable energy supply and a blow to dollar dominance. This move strengthens the yuan and sets a precedent for other sanctioned states. The oil train is a template for bypassing American economic power. It's a direct challenge to US statecraft. The global energy order is shifting. The West and its allies are reeling. The latest developments have sent shockwaves through the corridors of power, leaving leaders scrambling to respond. Uncertainty hangs in the air as officials weigh their next moves, aware that the stakes have never been higher. In Washington, frustration is high. Sanctions are losing their bite, and options are limited. Policymakers are locked in urgent discussions, searching for leverage as traditional tools seem less effective. The sense of urgency is palpable, with lawmakers and advisors debating how to maintain influence in a rapidly shifting landscape. Sanctioning Central Asian transit countries risks pushing them closer to China. US strategists worry that any aggressive move could backfire, strengthening Beijing's hand and undermining Western interests in the region. New sanctions on Chinese and Iranian companies are likely, but largely symbolic. These measures may make headlines, but behind the scenes, trade and cooperation continue to grow, blunting the intended impact of Western pressure. In the Gulf, Saudi Arabia and the UAE are alarmed. A revitalized Iran, backed by China, threatens the regional balance. Leaders in Riyadh and Abu Dhabi are holding emergency meetings, reassessing their security strategies and economic partnerships. Riyadh may now seek closer ties with Beijing, hedging against waning US guarantees. The Gulf states are exploring new alliances, signaling a potential realignment that could reshape the region's power dynamics for years to come. Europe is divided. Some see a chance for renewed diplomacy with Iran, others fear growing Chinese influence. The debate is fierce, with some leaders advocating engagement, while others push for a tougher stance to protect European interests. The transatlantic alliance is showing cracks. Disagreements over strategy and priorities are surfacing, testing the unity that has long defined Western cooperation. The oil train exposes the limits of Western power. As energy flows shift eastward, the West's ability to shape outcomes is being challenged in real time. Allies are questioning old assumptions. Long-held beliefs about security, energy, and alliances are being re-examined as the world adapts to new realities. The global order is in flux. Power For consumers, the immediate effect is downward pressure on oil prices. Iranian oil flowing to China frees up other supplies, increasing global availability. This new stream acts as a cushion, reducing the risk of price spikes. Gasoline prices may dip slightly in the short term, but the long-term outlook is uncertain. Geopolitical instability could drive prices up. If Iran feels emboldened, regional conflict could disrupt far more oil than the railway supplies. A price war is possible, with OPEC nations trying to undercut Iranian rail oil. The market faces new volatility as old rules break down. The oil train is redrawing the global map. It hardens a new divide, a US-led bloc versus a China-led one. Central Asia becomes a new battleground, as countries like Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan balance Chinese investment against US pressure. The US Gulf Alliance is under strain. Saudi Arabia may seek more independence and closer ties with China. This project sets a precedent. Other sanctioned states like Russia may follow suit. Competing economic blocs could emerge, each with its own trade routes and rules. The era of seamless globalization is ending. The world is fragmenting into rival networks. The oil train is a warning. The post-Cold War order is fading. A more contentious, multipolar world is taking shape. As the first oil trains reach China, the world has changed. The US-dominated era of oil by sea and dollar pricing faces its greatest challenge. China's Iron Silk Road is a blueprint for energy security through overland, sanctions-proof infrastructure. This model prioritizes resilience and autonomy over cost. Other nations may follow, splitting the world into maritime and Eurasian land-based systems. The risks are real. New tensions could spark conflict. The old levers of power are losing their grip. Policymakers must adapt or be left behind. The oil train is a symbol of shifting power. Who builds, who controls, who supplies. The world will never be quite the same.